Hey everyone, I want to do another video just concerning poses, just to help you out more. And thank you once again for everyone who subscribed. I can't thank you guys enough. I'm blown away at the new subscribers, the people. And I'm going to do 2 more of these. The next video is going to be a little different. And then I'm going to get back to drawing characters and teaching you like that. But when it comes to drawing figures, really the biggest thing is you can draw them however works best for you. That's something I always point out. For me, I like to draw with 2 circles. Like I mentioned this before, I kind of talked about the kidney shape. But to me, the best way is just sketch 1 circle, and then you can put the other circle about that far apart. And the basic shapes you're always going to use it's almost this shape like this, which is the ribs of the upper torso, and then this pelvis shape of the lower. Something like that. But those are the 2 basic shapes you're always going to use. And then you have where it's connected. And that's a very, very simple form. Then I could put very, very simple legs. It's a very static pose, meaning that it's from the front. But the point of this is, from this very simple pose, if you can master these 2 shapes and other poses, then you should be able to draw the arms. Because the arms, you can have 1 arm move. And there's a really cool technique if you look up Sycra's video, Sycra, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, but he draws these little lightning bolt shapes. And they're very, very helpful. Definitely watch his video how he draws poses, because they really capture, it was genius, absolutely genius how he does it, because it really gets the arms good. But you can see, simple pose, simple body, and then I could draw the arm like that. Like I went into other videos, then I could draw the arm at an angle. I could draw the arm jutting up over next to the face if I wanted to. So you have options. But the point I'm showing you, once again to reiterate, is anything can be drawn from the torso form. And a big thing is, the fun of drawing is, and this is why I love drawing, this is why I'm getting back into it, you can do proportions how you want, you can make it look more dynamic, you can make the torso bigger. And the point I'm getting at is, if you're doing life drawing, like actually drawing a figure from real life, to me, it has a very artistic quality, of course, but it can be very static in the sense that it doesn't have like the same animated look that, artists do. You use your artistic license and say you draw back. Just look at any comic book artist. They stick to the guidelines, but they're using artistic license to exaggerate. And here's like a point I'm making, like this very generic, but like say if I want to make, I'm going to use the same format, I'm going to do something a little more dynamic, a little more, in my opinion, more stylistic that I like to draw. This is how I like to draw. So it's circle shape, then another circle shape, but I'm making a static pose again, same thing. But you can see what I'm doing. I'm making the circles a little closer in. And then that same shape of the pelvis, then the belly button be right here. But all I'm doing is I'm making this top circle a little bit wider, a little bigger, so that way, the pelvis muscles fit in. And then I can really start fleshing it out, and I can start making a character that I want to draw. Something that I want to do, and it's not going to be something. But you can see all I'm doing is same poses, circle and lower. And you can start to see I'm making this character. I could put a Superman logo on, I could do whatever I want. But I have this very basic form, very, very basic. And that's the point I'm getting at. When you do life drawing, figure drawing, which I've never done, but I've watched people on here draw life figures, they are very realistic. They're keeping like it lots of cross hatches. They're keeping it like a realistic, like realism. That's how they do it. But by doing this technique, you create more of a dynamic sense. Comic book, cartoon look, but it's very awesome and it sticks to anatomy. So there's just another simple pose. Then if, you know, just did something very simple like head circle, and then there's a little, do something simple like it looking towards the side here. I just want to show the difference you can do. Yeah, but two important huge tips with this. If you're drawing something like anime or manga, look at a lot of different videos on YouTube and look at people drawing in general. Because sometimes, which is true, simple is more. In other words, I'm going to draw another dynamic pose. And when I say simple is more, I mean the simpler your shapes are, the less, like for example here, I didn't draw the muscle, I drew more of an outline. Then you can go back and shade it. And you know, really by adding value is how these other artists finish a drawing. But going back to what I was doing, simple is more. So I'm going to use the same shapes, circle here. And I'm going to make this one a little more dynamic. The circle's going to be up here. Kind of like that. So that was the first big tip. Keep it simple. So I'm just making a line there where the arm's going to go. I'm kind of fleshing out. See, I'm sticking with the same shape. It curves up. Same rib cage shape. And the neck would be here. Kind of arches downward. Then just making a mark there. And then for the, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have this leg jutting forward. So to simplify that, rather than drawing this whole shape, which I could do, but it would leave a lot of marks, as an artist you kind of get used to the way the shapes look. So if that's the pelvis, the leg coming up, it's kind of going to go like this, behind it. And you can draw it like this, it'll come up, and all I'm doing is just kind of, you get an idea from drawing it over and over, but then the leg's going to come down like that, and it's going to kind of overlap, and then this will connect to that portion. You'd have some lines, but just showing you a very simple way to draw it, and exactly what I mean. Rather than going in and really sketching it and making it rough, I'm just doing something simple. I'm visualizing it with my brain. In other words, you know, I know the back of the leg is back on this form, and I know it's going to jut out in front of this, and I know it's going to kind of create this shape. Like that's the shape it's creating when it comes forward. But rather than actually drawing all that, I'm just doing it by mind. That's something you can do. And then I'll make this leg kind of come out. So that's a big tip. Simple is better. Simple, you know, you can make a lot more interesting poses. You get a lot more. You get a kind of a finished product with simpler. And as you can see, I'm just drawing this arm very simple. I'm not going to worry about the hands now. I'm just going to sketch a basic shaping for the hands. And then this arm I can maybe put to the side. But I really hope this helps. Another huge tip, which I mentioned before, but it's a big tip. Take your time. I always say that in every single one of my videos. Can't stress it enough. Take your time, because after I'm done making these videos, I'll go in my sketchbook after and I'll just start to draw again. I'll start practicing. And when I draw in my sketchbook, I'm just absolutely taking my time. I got a basic hand form of the hand here. But you can see this very simple, yet very dynamic pose. It was so simple the way we drew it. You know, 2 circles. We started with the torso mass. But then now it's coming to this very dynamic pose. And you know, you can just put the head on. Personally, I like to draw heads with the elongated shape. I need more practice with heads, hands, and feet. Those are the big things I need to practice. But just drawing a real simple pose. The eyes would be here. Maybe it's sniffing a flower or something, or looking at something, a picture. But once again, take your time. It's unbelievable. Then, you know, I could go back in and start putting value, texture, all those things. You know, I could make a superhero again, add different clothes and things. But basically, that's all I'm getting at is, can't stress it enough. Take your time. So I'm going to show you a few more. And I'm really sorry. I know I repeat myself a lot, but these are all reminders that I need to learn too, because a lot of times I do rush, I don't take my time. When I really sit down to draw it, enjoy it, and take my time, I get so much better results because I'm not concerned, I'm not rushing, I'm just really enjoying every single line I draw, and it starts to create an image. I'm going to show you an image real quick I did. Hopefully it'll come up. These are just some real quick sketches I did before I fell asleep. And you can see I did like almost a Harley Quinn figure here. And I did the same technique, circle, and you can see the leg. Just very quick sketches. Did the back of a female, just another sketch to practice. And you know, they're small pictures. I drew like Batman there. And then I did another Spider-Man pose up on the top, 2 Spider-Man poses. And all I did was I was just practicing. This is so fun to me. I had so much fun. Because by doing these techniques, you know, of course everyone should take a figure drawing class, but by doing these techniques, you can have fun drawing. You can draw any character you want, anything, just by these methods. Because, you know, that's how you draw any form. A human, you know, what is there? It's anime, whether it's anime, Western style, superheroes, cartoons, you know, this is mind-blowing because it really sets a form. Like, you know, right now I'm just doing another little pose. I'm just connecting it. But the reason why it's so important is because you can always start with the torso shape. Always start with the torso shape. And then you can do the rest of the other shapes. That's kind of why it's so amazing, because you really can do form. 2 other things real quick. Number 1 is this circle, the double circle method helps. Because if you're doing extreme foreshortening, you know, foreshortening is like my fingers coming towards you here. If the body's in extreme pose, such as Spider-Man with his hands down in front of him, you can do it by basically, if there's a big circle here, you know, these are the 2 circles, pelvis, rib cage, upper body. If this circle shifts in front of it, you're not going to see the circle behind it. So when you're doing a pose like Spider-Man looking forward, you have a circle here. I hope this makes sense. And this is only an extreme foreshortening, but you have this main circle, and this is the top. So the head's going to be there. And I'm actually going to teach this in the next video I do. The head's going to be there, then the arms are going to come off here. You have these arms, and the legs, you're not going to see any of the back mask because the circle's behind it, but you will see probably a leg coming out and another leg. And real simple, that's just a real simplified way to do it. So that's one thing. Another thing is, by knowing these basic things, you can draw much more simplistic figures. Because I'm going to do the same thing, and now I'm just going to say if I'm doing a female for a manga comic. All I'm going to do is draw the top shape, that rib cage shape. Then I'm going to put a circle here, very simple. And then the bottom, same shape. All I'm doing is I'm just simplifying those shapes extremely a lot. And then you start to have a very simple torso, nothing fancy, very simple. And this is what's really cool about it. This is where you become artistic. And what I'm going to do in the next drawing, I'm going to show you professional drawing, and then I'm going to show you breaking up the shapes. You know, female, and just the breast in here. But you know, you have very simple forms, and you can work it in. You know, put the shade in the side of the muscles. This is all the side shadow. And there you go. You have a very simple. Then you can draw a big circle because it's a bigger head with anime. Then the face juts out. And there you go, you have a anime style character. Let me erase that shape above it. But very fast, you know, just by drawing that, you have very long hair coming down. But this is where it gets, this is what's so fun about drawing, is once you kind of get used to drawing the torso, once you get used to these shapes, then you can just draw what you want. You don't have to be limited. You can draw any style you want, but that's a real simple thing. Now I'm going to take the same principle and do a more complicated. I'm going to draw a female, but like a Marvel superhero type thing. So I'm going to do the same way I drew it. Instead, I'm going to elongate shapes. I'm going to keep the same basic shapes. This is really important that you kind of get used to this. So kind of that rib cage, the top upper shape. And everybody's got a different way to draw. There could be so many ways you draw a rib cage, but there you go, real simple rib cage. Arm sockets here. And all I'm doing is I'm making the shapes bigger. I'm making them a little longer than the in here, and I'm making this longer, this section. Then you can see the difference between the two, and then I'm going to make same shape, same basic shape for the pelvis, but all I'm doing is kind of making a longer body, this is more elongated because it's more closer to actual human proportions. Then I can start drawing the legs in, doing the same thing here. And these aren't really dynamic poses, they're static. I want to show you. Then you can take your time. The breast muscle is in here. And you have another one on this side, and then the rib cage. Then kind of the rib cage sits. But all this would be dark, and you'd have these muscles. I'm going to make it just like a little costume. The belly button would be right about there. You have these little notches. But then you can really work on it, flesh it up. Then I'm just drawing how superheroes usually have that muscle. So it's a matter of defining the muscles, building upon it, but you can see the difference. I did basically the same thing here with the torso that I did there, and then you just can connect the arms how you feel where they should connect. Same basic thing, but I just did it a little more detailed. That's the biggest thing about this. I'll do another like dynamic pose. Another one, let me think here. I'll exaggerate on this one. I'll start a new paper here. So I'm going to do another superhero one. But practice this. I highly recommend practicing this. Practice drawing the circles. Practice bending the arms. Bend the arms different ways until you feel more comfortable, because this really will help. But another pose which I'm going to do is an arm punch-in. The pencil is going to get more lead. So I'm going to draw this one a little bigger. A circle shape, and then the rib cage is going to be bending. So you have these two circle shapes. And usually the pelvis is smaller than the rib cage, so that's why I draw this circle a little smaller. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to, remember I said simple is better. The arm is going to be punching, so it's going to be crossing over part of the face here. So you're not going to see a lot of this. So rather than drawing all the detail in, I got my basic shape, and then I'm going to real quickly just sketch how this would look. So it kind of would come forward, the arm. And all I'm doing is I'm just working it very slowly, different lines. You can see it's going in front of the face. The face, if I were to sketch it, you'd see something back here. So let's say it's like Batman. So I got the little ear shapes. And this is what's fun. This is where you can start. This is what's fun to me, and this is where it's awesome, because you can start experimenting. Do these shapes, practice. I highly recommend you practice tonight. Because you can make different poses. Look at the website for poses, or you can create them in your head. And then, just the elbow be right here. And what's fun about drawing like this is you you are concerned about the anatomy, yet you're more concerned about getting the forms in. So say just very simple, just punch in and then I'm not going to worry about the hand, just want to get the basic shape. But you can see, so the body's twisting this way, you got part of the back muscle. And this will be darker. Then it's going to come in, this is going to connect. And then this, I like to draw a line where I see it. So this pelvis muscle, it's going to be like this, but you're going to see more of the front of it. So as you can see, I'm drawing that same shape we did before, but like you're seeing the front. So the body's actually turning that way. I'm making a line to show that. So it's turning that way. I'm going to make this just a little higher on this side. This side doesn't look right proportionally. So just make it a little higher. You can see you got the real simple shapes. Then just build it up, the muscles, the tones. You know, make his cape coming down. Then with this leg, you can make the leg. You can draw the leg using shapes you can draw from your head. Usually the leg, you know, looks something like that. This one will be bending. And being that his arm is stretched out this way, this leg is going to go behind it in the background. So I'm just going to sketch that. And all I'm doing is getting a very sketchy drawing. And this is what's fun, like I said. Then you can start erasing lines. You can add the belts on. I'm just doing the sketch, but like, so this leg is going to go all the way in the back. Something like that. So it looks something like that. And the cape just coming around. So real quick, just another real quick sketch we did. You know, erase those guidelines we made. But, you know, a very simple pose. Nothing fancy, but just another thing. And so you got the basic shapes here. There's the other arm. So, you know, come in and really flesh it out, and then that's where the fun starts. So that's it, you know, then I got the pose. And start adding the face, do the rest. Something very simple, nothing too major, but enough so you get a feeling. Very sketchy, you know, it's not finished. So one more. And you know, another one would be like if the body's flying towards you like Dragon Ball Z style. Then you have the circle up here. Once again, that's the top. Then the face, the head is a circle. I mean, that's more anime. You have a pointed chin. 2 ears. Basically, the hair is going to cover most of the back. So another important thing to remember is artistic license. You want to draw, you don't have to show every muscle. You know, you can cover things like with the cape, or you can cover them with hair or weapons or anything you feel that shouldn't be there. Let me show you real quick what I mean. In other words, like, say this is the deltoid, the shoulder muscle, and it's wrapping into the rib cage here. Say if you don't like the way that line looks or the way the deltoid covers it, you know, as an artist, you can put value in it. You can make it very dark and then make the arm in front of it lighter, so the arm in front of it stands out more. And that's what a lot of artists will do. You know, they'll use value. That's going back to why I say keep the drawing simple, because you can come in with different values and cover things, and you can make it look, and that's like, look at professional works. You'll see that a lot, just value covering things. So that's why I was going back to like the hair covering the back. This is my last drawing I'm going to do. You know, just the shoulder muscles will be here, and I'll kind of go back in and keep it really interesting. Always make it look interesting. You don't always have to make it look like a realistic pose. You can keep it kind of cartoony. It's just however you want. That's something I want to show you more in future drawings, because I'm kind of keeping poses and things very generic rather than adding my own style to them. But you know, right here you'll see that arm coming in the background. Then another arm will go back here. Then you'd have a leg. That's what you can do to make it look like it's coming towards you. Simply draw that leg in. And then you have a real simple shapes. These simple shapes really start to form an image. And then the eyes. So there you go, a real simple kind of looking thing. Very simple, it's very sketchy. So I'm going to do one final pose. I'm going to kind of show you the style of like Batman. And just this shape. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the shapes. I'm going to kind of make it my own style. Deltoid wraps around. Muscle. Now I'm just building up muscle tones. It's kind of a side view of the back. Latissimus dorsi in the back. You'll see that on the side. And the belt will be right here. And all I'm doing is I'm keeping the same forms. But this is the way I prefer to draw. I like to use the shapes if I'm doing more complicated things. But if I'm just drawing for fun, or if I'm just drawing to get a quick sketch in, I prefer to use the shapes but also do the rough sketch of the belt. So this is the front of him and this is the back. Make him like holding someone. So the hands you'd see like this. Kind of like that. You know, this could be someone's shirt. You could have like part of the head Now here's like the head looking up towards him. And now what I'm doing is I'm just freestyling. Like I said, I like to practice with that, and then I like to just go at it and do things my own way. Just kind of pulling them up by the arm. There ain't no go with the flow. This is still the back, this is the front. So I'm going to draw a little circle here, and what you're going to see is this pelvis shape. You're going to see side of the leg, and the leg's going to be like that. So it's going to cover the front. You'll see the back of his leg here. Crap, I don't like the way the legs are coming. Actually, let's make one coming out. That looks better. And the other leg we'll put in the back. Yeah, so one leg coming out like that. And the other one behind it. What the hell's that noise? Just let me know if this helps, guys. Put that there. You know, make him standing up on something. I'm just sketching the rest in. Basically, you know, that's kind of the idea behind it, what I'm doing, and then you can make the cape draping down, but the head would be about right here. Something like that. Real simple. So I hope that kind of helps to define things better. Clear it up. Real simple. Anyway, I hope this all helps. Thank you again for watching. Let me know if you need help with other things. Thanks everyone, and I'm going to make one more tonight. Thank you.